Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Investing Fool. It's been quite some time since I uploaded the last video. I was away from home for a while and then I was not keeping well. So while I was recovering also, I had thought that next video जब भी बनाऊंगा rebalancing का ही बनाऊंगा at the end of the month. August 31st was a holiday and so today we bought the new stock. So we'll talk about the rebalancing. Even today I thought that I would upload the video max by 7 p.m. but I could not. उसमें भी delay हो गया, so apologies for that. But anyway, the kind of momentum investing that we practice and the kind of horizons that we think about कि long term सोचना है, we have to think in terms of decades. So if you look at it in that scheme of things, you maybe require like half an hour every 15 days or a month, whatever your rebalancing period is, to make the changes in your portfolio and just get on with it, right? Do the rest remaining things in life, not worry about what the market is doing day in and day out. Of course, you can check things, but it doesn't really make a lot of impact on your decisions in terms of your investments, right? That's anyway, that's the thought process. आज का video we will try to keep it short. We'll just limit it to the rebalancing changes in the portfolio. We will get to the usual like videos, the content surrounding momentum or the general content around momentum. I'm slowly getting into the rhythm, but today we will just talk about the rebalancing and the Nifty top 10 portfolio changes. I'll probably make a video on that tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I'll try to get it out tomorrow. But anyway, like in the longer scheme of things, एक दो दिन से कुछ ज़्यादा हो नहीं जाता. So anyway, let's just get started with it. So before we move on, the disclaimer as usual that please consult your financial advisor before making any investments. These are just for educational purpose. Let's get started with the rebalancing updates. So at the end of the August, so if we like take out today's trade, then portfolio was close to the all-time high at the end of August, almost on the brink of all-time high, and the monthly performance for August is 2.38% versus 0.97% for the index. So if you go on our portfolio sheet and you check out this tab, month on month returns and charts, so this has been updated till August, and as you can see, we had a little bit of alpha over the index. All this is pre-tax before hand as well, and the alpha has remained about the same. In like in today's session, it has reduced again, but if we look at the month-on-month performance here, so since the last 2 months we were actually underperforming the index. Surprisingly, in August we have sort of inched forward compared to the index, but these are not really consistent. So what I want to like drive home is that your returns may be very different from someone else who is rebalancing on some other day, or who has slightly like different universe, or there can be a lot of factors that can come here, right? So in the long term, things do converge. In the long term, returns converge. Probably the max drawdowns will also be similar, but in the short term, if you look at it like month to month, week to week change, like shorter term changes, then someone else's portfolio might be performing very differently from your portfolio. So that is something that you should keep in mind. So just a blind comparison कि इस महीने मेरा इतना आया, तेरा इतना कैसे आया, those things usually do not work unless you have like kept every single parameter the same with the other person. Okay, so anyway, so the monthly performance is 2.38% for the month of August. We have 3 exits in the portfolio. 2 of these are large and one is a small cap. All 3 stocks have exited due to the worst rank held criterion. So as we have talked about, कि primary criterion एक है and secondary criterion एक है, right? So the primary criterion is due to the worst rank held of 50. So any stock that drops below 50, we take that out. And the secondary criterion is a stock falling 25% from the all-time high, right? So all the 3 exits that we are doing this time around, all of these have actually gone beyond the rank of 50 on the screener, the Momo India screener that we use. The link is in all our video descriptions. You can check it out. And because we have 3 exits, now we have 3 entries, one large, one mid, one small, so it's fairly distributed. The portfolio skew towards large and mid caps continues in the stock. So basically one small cap stock left, another small cap stock came, so there is not much change in that regard. But if you can see on the right hand side, being a relatively conservative stock selection universe of Nifty 500, the large cap tend to dominate over this. So next we have a few parameters regarding the exits, which we will see also on the portfolio. So the winner percentage is actually down from 41.7% to 41.2%. So this is the number of stocks that are winning. Of all the exits that we have made, how many stocks have actually given us gains? That's the winner percentage. And how many stocks that have given us losses? That is actually the loser percentage, right? So because we had like 3 exits, 2 of these were actually losers and one of these was a winner. So let's go to the exits tab and see. By the way, this file is live all the time, so those of you who are watching the video for the first time or come across this channel for the first time, you can check out this portfolio anytime. The prices are updated real time during the markets. So anyway, if we see here, these are the last 3 exits that we made, right? So Zydus Life, Siemens and V-Guard are the 3 exits that we made. 2 of these are losers and one of them is a gainer. Right. So again, the loser percentage has increased. It is all these changes actually as you go on creating like or following this portfolio for long, right? All these changes will be marginal, so they will tend to converge and they will tend to like stagnate unless there are huge ups and downs in the markets and like 20 out of I mean maybe 18 out of your 20 stocks exit the portfolio or something like that happens, right? Apart from those large events, like month on month there are only marginal changes, and over time like this will continue to diminish further, right? But anyway, so we have a marginal decrease in the winner percentage, down from 41.7 to 41.2%. Loser percentage is up because we had 2 out of 3 losers this time around, 58.3% to 58.8%, and the trend of most gains from fewer wins continue. So that has always been a trend, and that will continue to remain. So that most of your gains will come out of very few of your stocks. So that is something that we should always keep in mind. The current distribution we can see of the portfolio at the bottom. So small caps are 9.5%, mid cap is 23.8%, and the rest around 67% is large caps. Average gain percentage. This is another metric, which is how much does the average winner gain for you. That is the average gain percentage versus how much does the average loser lose for you. That is the average loss percentage, right? So the average gain percentage has reduced from 26.5% to 26.0%. This is because the gainer that we had this time around, which is Zydus, left around at 16% gain, which is less than the average that was already existing, right? So the average has come down from 26.5% to 26.0%. Average loss percentage has also reduced, and this is because the average loss percentage of these 2 stocks. So Siemens basically did nothing. We had it in like 16th of May. We bought it on 16th of May. So June, July, August. So 3.5 months. It basically did nothing. It exited with 2.5% loss. V-Guard, it's one of the quickest exits in our portfolio. In 15 days only, it fell by quite a lot. And I mean, I'm not sure if it fell by like 25% from the top. It didn't fall 25% from the top, but it went down in the ranking pretty quickly, right? It came up. We bought it. coincidentally during during the rebalancing period, like some stocks always would come like that. They would come very quickly. You would buy and it would prove out to be a top in hindsight. So you can never say while buying the stock that this could be a top, and even now it can may well recover, right? But when the stock falls down very rapidly, by the time your next rebalancing comes, the stock has already fallen down much beyond worst rank. So VGuard, I think, fell. I think last I checked, its rank was in the 90s, right? So it's not that it's fallen just beyond 50 or it's stagnating at 55. It fell quite a bit, and it was swept through to the 90s, and that's why it gave a loss of around 13%. But anyway, both of these losses, like if we take the average anyway, so these the loss would be less than the average loss percentage that was there for the losers. So the average loss percentage has also reduced a bit from 11% to 10.8%, again marginal. Average holding period has increased from 72.4%, 72.4 days to 73.8 days. This is because the tenure that we are holding these stocks for are long, which is good, like reduces churn, like in terms of if your ranking is predictable enough, if the trends are consistent enough, then they may stay. They would not, like, they may not do much. That's the downside of it. So Siemens, like, stayed for more than 3.5 months, did nothing. Zydus Life was much earlier, right? It has stayed close to 6 months, 168 days here. So you see, and the stocks, like in terms of the result, it has not given much. So it was I think in the low 30s, but then again the stock has corrected quite a bit from the top, and that is why it has left the index at around 16% again. We'll anyway look at the charts in some time. The one of the themes that is there in terms of the stocks that we have gotten is the sector rotation to defensive stocks. So even in the 3 new stocks that we have taken, we'll take a look shortly. One of them is pharma. One of them is in broadly in the consumption area. So the tilt that we were seeing earlier about a lot of cap goods, a lot of like PSUs, that trend definitely seems to be taking a good long pause. And in terms of PSUs, while we are talking about PSUs, we had exited from like Cochin Shipyard, we had exited, GRSE we had exited, Bharat Dynamics we had exited, but 2 defense stocks. So our portfolio was heavily concentrated on defense. Almost 5 stocks of our 20 were in defense. 2 of them continue to remain, right? And during this time rebalancing, the ranks were like very close to 50. So they were close to breaching, but because we take out these stocks only when they go beyond 50 on the rebalancing day, so that's why they still continue to remain. But I personally feel that in the next rebalancing, these 2 will be out. These 2 are Hindustan Aeronautics and Bharat Electronics. Okay, so these are the exits that we made this time. So Zydus Life, Pharma, large cap, remained for 168 days. We already went through this on the exits tab as well. All 3 have gone off due to worst rank held criterion. If we look at the charts of these, so Siemens was not really doing anything for a long time. Okay, Zydus Life was making new highs, but it fell very like rapidly from these highs. So the decline in Zydus has been much quicker compared to something like a chart like this one, like Siemens, where you can see that the momentum has been cooling off. The stock is just not able to go forward, not able to break into any new highs. Compare that with Zydus. Zydus was actually making like big highs, but then due to whatever reason, right, the stock price corrected, and it corrected very rapidly, tried to go again up, but then again kept down here, and then it has been languishing. So because of this, the rank fell quite dramatically for Zydus Life. And anyway, the performance was not really like out of the park or anything, right? It was not in the 50s or anything. It was still in the 30s. But considering that the pharma sector in general is doing good. It was kind of surprising for me that Zydus went away so quickly. I expected it to come back, but let's see. If the stock has its destiny, then it might come back again in a few weeks. V-Guard, as I said, just 14 days. फट से आया portfolio में, and it started falling almost immediately, and we exited with 13% loss. You have to cut your losses early in momentum, no matter whether you're doing like 1 month rebalancing or even with 1 month rebalancing. If you're doing like fortnightly review or weekly review, whenever you are rebalancing your stocks to see which stocks need to exit, you need to take that decision quickly, and you need to stick to that decision. You do not have to delay that decision. You do not have to anticipate that something might come back or something, right? So just stick to the rules, and it's actually very painful because sometimes you might feel, okay, it's a small cap stock, it is going great, so it has come in my portfolio and I expect it to perform. Obviously you expect all your stocks to perform, right? But sometimes the stocks just correct immediately. There are short-term mean reversion factors at play. You can never know. You can never know what will work, what will not work. Sometimes the stocks have gone up too high, right? And then you buy it and they go further up. And sometimes they just turn around dramatically. So usually you never know what will happen. But in case they turn around very dramatically and they start going down and they meet your exit criteria, make sure to exit them on time. Make sure to not waste your time on falling stocks. These are the incoming stocks that we have. So 3 stocks. Let's just go to the portfolio only and see these stocks. Okay, so the last 3 stocks that you see here, so Godfrey Philip is the first one, then PCBL is the second one, and Torrent Pharma is the third one. So one mid, one small, one large. These are the stocks that we have bought today, and they show some marginal changes based on the buy price. In case of Godfrey Philip, it has risen by quite a bit in the last few days. So you can see these powerful sessions, right? I think it was up more than 6% consecutively for 2 days, and today also it was up. Stock is showing strong momentum. In such cases, sometimes you may decide to stagger your entry a little bit. In the long term, doesn't matter that much. It wouldn't matter that much because it can go either way, right? But when in very short term a stock has risen too much, sometimes you can take a call to do a staggered entry. You may deploy half of your capital and then wait for like 1 week or something to see if a better opportunity presents you. But in the long term, in terms of the portfolio construction and everything, like I do not do that personally. But and anyway, as I said, in the long term, these things do not matter that much. So you can just like robotically just buy in one single swoop also, and that is likely the preferred method, right? Because in the end, it doesn't matter that much. When we look at the other stocks, so PCBL is in chemical, Godfrey Philip is in the tobacco space. So if you have heard about the Marlboro brand of cigarettes, so these are this company is responsible for selling that brand of cigarettes in India. PCBL is in the chemical space. Torrent Pharma, as the name suggests, is in pharma space, large cap. If we look at the 1 year returns here, so Godfrey Philip has a 1 year return of 214%, much of it very recent, RSI of 80. PCBL has a 1 year return of 181%, RSI of 75, and Torrent Pharma large cap 1 year return of 88% and RSI of 67. So if you look at the kind of sectors that are coming into the portfolio now, so one is a pharma, one is a consumption. PCBL is okay, chemical, okay. I'm still not very sure what the chemical sector is doing. There are some signs of revival, but some analysts also say that the sector is too far-fetched. So we do not know. We anyway go as per our algorithmic rules here. So if we go back to the portfolio, if we see, let's just take a look at today's performance also. So portfolio was heavily, not heavily, but significantly down compared to the index. There was a huge gap in the performance, in the one day performance today between the portfolio and the index, and that's why you see the alpha has reduced quite a bit. This was above 41. And if we look at the losers, like the advanced decline ratio was less than 1. So more losers were there in today's session compared to winners, and the winners are few. Godfrey Philip was up today, but anyway, it's something that we bought just today. Cummins was up today. Kalyan Jewelers was the highest gainer at around 4%. And the rest all are losers. So we have Dixon losing more than 4%, Oil India more than 2.5%, Granules more close to 5%, right? And Zomato also shedding 2%. So most of the stocks in red. I'm not sure if it's a sign of sector rotation or what, but if we look at the sectoral indices, right? So here also many of the sectors were in red. In fact, in the mid of the day, barring 3 sectors, everything was in red. If we look at the strongest performance today, it was FMCG, and followed by we have IT here, and private banks doing well, PSU banks also doing well. None of these sectors are reflected adequately in our portfolio. So in terms of FMCG, we would have Colpal, Godfrey Philip would be broadly in the consumption space, but nothing else, right? If we look at the broad-based indices today, most were positive. Nifty 50 at 0.17% up, Nifty Next 50 0.07% up, Nifty 200 0.16% up, and Nifty 500 R index is 0.11% up, right? So that's pretty much it for today's performance. If we look at the last 10 days performance based on the stocks that we have in our portfolio today, so Godfrey Philip is the only one that is clearly made an uptrend. All the other stocks are kind of dilly-dallying around their mean mark, so they have not moved much. And some that had moved quite a bit have seem to be consolidating. For example, Zomato seems to be consolidating a bit, and some that have found some new vigor, right? So if we see, look at today's gainers, so Bajaj Auto was still up 2% in today's trade, right? And Bajaj Auto has been performing amazingly for the past few sessions. And let's see where this trend goes, because it has seen continuous green candles for quite a lot of days, and let's see if this sustains. It was consolidating for some time, but then again, auto numbers have not come out very good, at least for the 4-wheelers for this month. Let's see if the festive season is bringing something good. The market is anticipating something for sure when it comes to Bajaj Auto. I'm not sure what that is, but we will come to know of all these things only in hindsight. So anyway, so these are the 3 stocks that we got into. These are the 3 stocks that we left, and I just hope that these new stocks continue to provide us the gains that we look for. The market has not been okay, but there is no strong momentum, I feel, and there is a lot of sector rotation. There is a lot of churn that is going on across momentum portfolios. This is not so. If you look at our momentum portfolios gradually, we have seen so many new pharma stocks, right? So in the last rebalancing cycle, there were 2 pharma stocks. In this rebalancing cycle, there is 1 pharma stock. IT is making a comeback. In our portfolio, we have not seen it, and in our portfolio, the one IT stock that is there, OFSS, it's not really performing that well, but still near its all-time high, I guess. But in terms of the portfolio performance, it has not done much for us. But so that has been the ongoing trend. I also do not want the churn to be too high, but it seems very clear if you look at the ongoing trends, even for the defense companies that we have exited. For example, Cochin Shipyard, it has continued to fall after we exited. So somewhere or the other, there is definitely a churn from the PSUs, from the cap goods, defense, railway, rich tilt that portfolios had, somewhere money is flowing from those sectors to, if not all defensive, then to other sectors, right? Like people have been expecting banks to perform for so long, maybe they will also start performing. IT might also do. Consumption and FMCG, I feel definitely is coming back to some extent, and pharma has been performing really good over the past 1 month. I think it has been the best performing sector. But yeah, so that's all about the rebalancing, and apologies again for the delay in the video. Thank you for watching if you've watched for so long, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and have a good day. Bye bye.